thank you to our 3 sponsors for supporting our podcast. Johnny Russell's Art Caterers and Milltown Pies, who offer fantastic catering services, Alexander Grace Law, who provide modern and client-led legal services, and SBE Furnishings, who offer high-quality furnishings and electrical items at fantastic prices.
Jez, I've just had to explain what Ruskies means.
You're joking.
Jez, I don't know. I said to Joe, I don't know, I wasn't part of the Cold War.
I really don't think you needed to be to understand what that is. If someone said to you in a pub in Eastern Europe, the Ruskies are coming to get you, what would you do?
I don't know, I thought you'd misspelt rusty.
I'm not sure he could hack it.
No.
Gordon, send Lowerhouse to save the house. Come on, the house!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Housecast. It's wet and rainy outside, but we believe there is light at the end of the tunnel. The fixtures are out and we're all looking forward to lockdown being eased, getting towards the cricket season and starting to get some normality and some belief back into all this. So tonight's guest is a fantastic servant of Lowerhouse. Everyone knows who he is. He's a really great individual and hopefully we'll have loads of good memories to chat about. But before we go on to the guest, just welcome the co-hosts back. We've got myself, obviously Jez, ex-player from Lowerhouse and loving doing these. It's great. We've also got the 2 Joes. So we'll go out, first of all, to Joe Martin again. Joe, I'm not sure you've even combed your hair since first lockdown. What's going on there?
I mean, my hair hasn't been cut since October, and depending on the temperature in the house, it can be anything from kind of Diana Ross-like to the Jacksons.
So it's down to the temperature?
Down to temperature and humidity.
Anyway, Dooch, how about yourself? Are the golf courses open or not?
No, they're closed. The golf courses are closed. The driving ranges are closed. No golf whatsoever.
Crikey, what will you be up to? You will be climbing the walls.
Yeah. Podcast editing. I've been doing a bit of that.
Yeah, seen that. That's great.
Taking any libelous comments out of our podcasts. That's it, really, Jez.
Yeah. No,
TV's taking an hammering. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's good. But it's great to have you both on and we can have a laugh. It's like we've said, it's like being sat at the end of the bar, having a good old giggle. So we'll move on tonight's guest. This individual has been a key member in most parts of things that are going on down the cricket club. He's massive into the social scene. He's helped out massively with the cricket side of it in various elements. He's always down there. In fact, sometimes you think there's about 6 of him because he seems to be everywhere you end up going. He's a great individual. Can I introduce you all to our one and only Stuart Gaynor? Hiya, Stuart. How you doing?
All right, thank you.
No, that's great. It's great to see you, Stu. We haven't seen you for probably 12 months now. How's it been for you? Are you still working? How's it going through lockdown?
Yeah, well, yeah, because being working in the supermarket, I've not really stopped.
Right. Okay.
I've been lucky. You've
enjoyed doing that. You've enjoyed carrying on.
Yeah, no, it's been good. Plenty of work there.
Oh, that's good. And all credit to you. That is the role that needs to keep going to keep us, us all going. So when we asked you to come on the podcast, what were your initial thoughts? I know you've been listening to them. Are you enjoying them?
Yeah, they've been fantastic.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Sorry, Jez, have you got a favourite so far?
Overall, I'd say either the Frankie ones or the Corbus ones.
All right. Very good.
Yeah, they were. I mean, the Corbus one was fantastic for listening to and getting an insight into what happened, during that period. And, Frankie's just daft as a brush, but, what a great servant he's been to the club. So thanks for that, Stu, and I really appreciate you coming on. Before we move on, I just want to get a bit of background and a bit of history. When I was, still playing, and even, when I was even quite a bit younger, I remember you down at the club, your dad was playing, your dad was a good cricketer, a good left-hander, could smack it a long way, and was, very into Lowerhouse and helping out. What were your early memories? When did you first come down to the club? And just tell us a few tales about when you first came down.
First remember coming down in 1993. For some reason, I can always remember it being sunny. I don't know why. First proper memory I've got is actually breaking my collarbone.
Really? What happened?
I fell off the steps outside changing room, or West End room.
Really? So go on. Well, I hope you haven't taken any lager in.
No.
Oh,
Only 7.
You're only... So the steps as they are now, the concrete steps, you fell off there?
Yeah.
Can't remember that. What happened? Go on, tell us what happened and where you ended up.
I think I was just messing about. Didn't see what I was doing. And
Yeah.
Fell onto concrete driveway.
Oh my God! Good job you didn't hit your head.
No.
That's good. So you're 7-year-old then. What about the cricket? Who would have been the pro around then, and what was the team like? What memories have you got around that?
Well, at that time, my dad was in the seconds, so I'll be mainly watching him.
Okay.
I think so. I didn't really see too much of the first at that point.
Right. So who would have been in the seconds then? Who can you remember watching?
93, 94 would have been my dad, Shez, Ryan Hesketh, maybe.
Yeah.
Terry Small.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe Ted Whittle.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Some good characters there.
Definitely.
So what can you remember around some of those games, and any significant scores or funny things that went on, even though you're only 7?
Well, I think it was a away game at Enfield. Yeah, my dad he'd got off to a good start, hitting it to all places, and he brought his 50 up with a big 6. And he put it through the TV window just as he put the tees out. I think the most annoyed person about it was Rusty.
So he smashed a window at Enfield. I think we've heard somebody else smashed a window at Enfield, haven't they?
Yeah, Finch.
Paddy.
Well,
yeah, different
Paddy
reasons.
got the blame for it.
Paddy got blamed for it. Yeah, I'm not stopping it.
I hope Enfield don't listen to these. So the wind has gone through in the tea room, and it's interesting you say that the most annoyed person there was Rusty, because there was probably some glass, because Rusty was always into his teas, weren't he, Stuart?
Yeah, it's fair to say.
Yeah, fair to say he was always the first there. So you're 7-year-old, as things progress, obviously, you're getting into your double figures and going to, senior school, etc. When did you first start scoring down at the cricket club, or be interested in scoring for us?
Well, I think it was when my sister was actually scoring first, 1999. So I did the tins first.
Right.
Yeah, Nicola. Yeah, because she took over from Laura Wren.
I remember that. Right, so go and tell us some stories around that. I forgot Nicola had done that.
Yeah, it's just like constantly banging my head on the tin because it's a death trap in there.
So your sister's doing the book?
Yeah.
And you're going in doing the tins. You must have some stories about anything that went on there, or any of the games that you can remember.
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think she probably ended up telling me off a few times.
Right. Yeah.
Was Nicola doing was she doing the first team, or was she doing the seconds because your dad was playing?
I think she did do some of the first as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she did. Yeah, I think she did the first when I started doing the seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, because I forgot Laura had done the book before that for the first team. So that just shows all the effort that's gone in and all the family camaraderie that we talk about. So you're then, would you have been 10 or 11, you think, then, Stu?
13, I think, when I started doing the tins.
Right, so you're 13 when you're doing the tins and dropping them out the window on people's heads, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think you have dropped a few numbers, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore.
No, I bet. Have they landed on anyone?
Not quite. Well, I think we've had definitely had a few near misses.
Right, brilliant. So then you take up on the second team. So you're now 13. What are the players changed much in from when you were 7?
Yeah, Dooch was in the seconds, I think, then, a couple of games.
Oh, cracker.
Yeah.
You want to run out of ink with Duke back?
Not how you go.
How did that go, Stuart?
Not too bad. I think Gav was still playing at that point as well.
Right, okay. Any games, any scores you can remember? Because they were all Chris and the Rugrats.
Gav always seemed to be in single figures, opening batting.
Yeah, well, nothing changed there for his career.
Did you do dots, Stuart, or did you not do dots?
Not at first, no. I think there was
that was probably a good idea scoring for Gav.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of them when I started doing it properly.
Yeah, I bet there were. So then you see you're 13. Then you're obviously helping out massively with the second team. You're coming back. Your dad's in and out the first team and the second team. So your dad would have been playing at that same time as well when you were scoring in the seconds.
Yeah, I think he was in the thirds as well. He might have been captain.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah. And then he played a few games in the first team as well. Had a good run on one season that I remember. So what your memories as you were getting older then, from 13, 14, 15? What can you remember around being down at the cricket club? Well, certainly when I remember us having some real laughs when games were raining and there were some games called off. Can you recall any of those?
I'm trying to think. Probably Joe.
We used to play a bit of indoor cricket, didn't we, Stuart? Don't tell Stan, but we used to play a bit of cricket in clubhouse, didn't we? You always used to get involved with that.
Yeah, you trying to get me out,
and they never could.
No, try it.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember, Stuart, you were sat with, you'd be sat with us many a time. Obviously, you were only a young lad, and you had an absolute love of pop music, didn't you? Of the charts and everything else. Have you still got that passion now?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. When there's no pandemic, I love going to all the gigs.
Yeah. So when you were younger, then you had a fantastic recall. We'd ask you questions, and you'd tell us who were number one in 1998 and all those sort of things. So can you still recall stuff like that? Is the old grey matter now you're getting older disappearing?
No, there's still plenty of memory there.
Really?
We're
going to have to test this, aren't we? We're going to have to test it.
I knew that was coming, Dooch.
We once went through a rain break. We once went through like 20 or 30 years of Christmas number ones with him.
Really? I mean, we used to.
Yeah,
we did, Stu, didn't we? Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Yeah. Just say like Christmas number one, 1998, and it's just like.
People do that to me outside the club as well, Joe.
Oh, really? Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, so if we fired some random years at you, would you be able to get them?
I can give them a go. Yeah.
I'll get the list on my phone. You two shout the years out.
I can take. I'll go with my 2003 Christmas number one.
That was.
No googling, Stu. We can see you.
I'm not googling. Oh no, it was Mad World. Mark Lounges and Gary Jules.
He's correct. Go on, Jez. Give us a year.
1991.
91. That was Bohemian Rhapsody for the second time.
Correct.
The second, brilliant. Absolutely. When were the first time, Stu?
1979.
No, you're wrong there, mate. Sorry. Oh. It wasn't a Christmas number one in 79. It might have been a number one in 79, but it wasn't a Christmas number one in 79.
Oh, brilliant.
Right, I'll give you one. 93.
Unfortunately, it was Mr. Blobby.
Correct. Superb, Stuart. Superb.
For the listeners that are listening, this has not been set up. I did think of speaking to Stuart before. We didn't embarrass him as he's got older. They forgot, but that was completely not set up. At one stage, when Dooch accused him of Googling, Stuart had his arms in the air and said,
I'm not.
Continue to answer right. Crikey, Stuart, that is fantastic. That's and I'm guessing. I mean, when we were playing and you were scoring, and you're in the first team, you'd be loving all that. But I'm guessing you love the banter, when we're in the bar and being together. And it used to help us, with the mopping up and everything else. Have you any good stories around that, around what went on there?
I think probably just Frank Entwistle being daft as a brush.
Yeah, it's a good point. What can you remember around that? Because we've had a few stories about Frank.
Well, no, this isn't after a game. This is a sportsman's dinner.
Right.
For some reason, it was on our table. There was me and some of the younger players as well. I think it might have been 2006. We dared him to eat a full block of cheese, and he did it.
No way.
Yeah.
He would also, at sportsman's dinners, I think I might have mentioned this before, but he would also eat packets of butter with the foil still on.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something not right in his head.
Absolute madness. We could do it because on the podcast we've had loads of different stories from various people about drinking the pint glass with the hot soapy water with my whiskers in it, eating that mushroom at the back of the groundsman's hut, which potentially could have killed him. I should have stopped him doing that. Supping a half pint of the mopping up water from the square after we'd mopped up after a rain-affected game. But they're good memories, Stu, aren't they? The things that we've got that no one can ever take. You've progressed. You've done the scoring in the second team. I think, we're not going to kid anyone. You weren't the neatest scorer in the world, but you were very reliable, and you were always there, and you were great fun, and you always, if there was ever a run to be missed, it was always off the opposition. And if there were ever the odd ball to be added, it was always on our score. So everyone's a winner. So you get promoted to the first team.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What happened with your early days and your debut?
Yes, yeah. So I got bumped up properly in 2004. Fultz was pro.
Yeah.
And that ended quite quickly because I got him mixed up with Chris Bembo.
Right,
Stan sent me back to the second.
Right, so Stuart, let's just have a real think about this, and let's just try and work out what's going on here. So, for anyone who's not a Lowerhouse fan, Peter Fulton was at least 6'7", 2 metre Peter, and Bembo was about 5'8". Fultz had quite light coloured hair, and Bembo had jet black hair. So what happened there, Stuart?
I just had an absolute brain fart and gone the wrong way around.
Get a brain fart.
Well, I presume you got them mixed up when they were batting, yeah?
Yeah, not when they're bowling.
Yeah.
That would have been awful.
Oh, I mean, getting them mixed up when they were batting ain't great. Considering one of them's pro and would have been batting at number 3, and other one's a slogger who comes in at number 8.
Not when he first joined, Joe.
And I guess
it weren't when Stuart was scoring anyway.
Yeah, they were both right-handers. So it's fair to say. So that's your first season. You've made one slight mistake, and that tosspot Stan Eaton sacks you.
Yeah.
Is that what happened? Right. So what did Stan say to you?
Now he said, I'm giving you seconds this week. And that was it for that season.
Right.
So another thing that's come up previously is who scored the Worsley Cup final. We didn't know between us. So if you got bombed, it wouldn't have been you. Can you remember who it was?
Yeah, Liam Donovan, Michael Donovan.
Really? Liam Donovan?
One of the Donovans, yeah.
Wow.
Right.
I would never have guessed that.
No, I wouldn't.
No, I mean, I maybe should have, because they'd be cousins. I'm related to them, but I can't remember. They're my cousin's sons, but and I don't remember them doing it, on other occasions.
Whilst we're talking about dropping clangers, what happened when you went to wrong ground once?
Oh, yeah. This was not one of my proudest moments. It was a Friday T20. We were meant to be playing at Todd. I was at Colne. I thought we played at Colne. To be fair, I was pretty hungover that day. I'd been out the night before.
And what happened when you got to Colne? Was there a game on at Colne?
Yeah, there was some youngsters practicing.
Seeing that, Colin and Todd, they're not that far apart. I'm just not sure it's just 2 grounds further apart.
I've been the own way there and everything. Got the bus from Paddy and Road.
Oh, cracky Stu. Cracky Stu, I don't know what you like. So anyway, so you've been axed in 2004. How did your scoring career go on from there?
So yeah, managed to do a few games in 2005.
Championship winning season.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
The T20 final that we got to at Haslingden, we should have won that.
What's your memories around that game then? Tell me about that game.
I think it was Mac. I think Macca got a big score.
Right.
It got 99, I think.
Yeah, smashing it over the wall. You bowling that game, Joe?
No, I didn't bowl in that game.
Maybe that's why we lost then. T20 specialist.
Yeah, so subject that, Stuart.
I mean, I looked at that scorecard the other. Also, Stu, I've got that Enfield game up from 2004. Fultz opened and got 93. So Tiffer got 93 and put Fultz at 3 and got 24. Absolutely brilliant.
So Fulton opened the batting and Tiffer batted at 3.
Yeah.
Well, that's not too bad then, I suppose. Apart from the fact that there is a foot between them, foot difference in height, and one of them's from New Zealand. So
just go back to this game at Haslingden, please, Stuart.
Do you have to?
We batted first, 196 for 4.
Yeah, I thought we had it in the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure. 1 ball to spare. So what happened there, Stuart?
I think there might have been a fielding mistake.
What happened?
Maybe it might have been an attempted run out in the last over somewhere. Don't know if you can remember that, Joe.
No, I don't remember that. I don't remember there being an attempted run out. I remember Johnny Russell diving over one at on boundary edge, but the game were pretty much already up by then.
But it's obviously a sore point for Dooch. Stuart, is there anything else you can remember about it?
No, I think that's it from that one.
Stuart, obviously, I've done a bit of scoring, not as much as you have.
Yeah.
But looking at that scorecard when the massive scores, that must have been a really tough game to score with the amount of runs scored and balls going everywhere and 2020 being sort of fast paced.
It was dark as well, I think, from memory.
All right. Can you remember how you found it, Stu, or what it was like?
Yeah, towards the end it got pretty frantic.
Right.
I was trying to get it in the book and then see the next ball. It's not the easiest of tasks.
No, I can imagine.
Should have tried captaining it, Stu.
Is there a reason why you don't? I know we lost Dooch, but is there a reason why you don't?
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of them games that you look back on and you think we should have won that. And I was at the helm. I was making the decisions. We should have won that game, and it did take me a little while to. Well, in fact, I still haven't got over it. I was going to say it took me a little while to get over it, but I still haven't. We got 190 odd batting first, and we should have closed it out. It was the only defence I'm going to come up with in my own defence was it was the early days of T20. We'd not played a lot of it, and I should have just used more bowlers, and I didn't. I stuck with the tried and tested, and just kept getting carted. And I didn't. I should have bowled myself or some other part timer just to try and rake it up a bit, but I didn't, and we lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're looking at it. I can't remember the game. I don't know if I was there. I'd like to think I was. But in your defence, Duke, no one's gone for 70, have they?
You can only bowl 4 overs.
Yeah, no, but if you're getting 200, it's 5. What I'm saying is there was no one really. It's 33 Johnny Russell, 37 Matt, 44 Benbow, 31 Andrew, and 44 Finches. So I was trying to stick up for you. What I'm saying is you've not bowled someone that extra over and they've gone for a 30.
No. When you watch T20 now, they throw all sorts in middle of innings. They throw all sorts of guff down, don't they? Part-time spinners and stuff. And Batter's eyes light up and they get wickets because Batter's trying to whack them into middle of next week. We never did any of that. We stuck with our regimented 5 bowlers, who were the 5 best bowlers that we had available, 5 best bowlers that we had in the club.
Yeah.
But it didn't work and we lost.
Yeah, so we move on from that. So Stuart, so you've scored in that game in 2005. What did you score? For many years after that. What were your record of scoring around that late 2000s?
Pretty much first team all the way to the end of the decade.
Brilliant. That's some stories about that.
Yeah, another one actually involving Dooch in T20. Positive one though this time, Dooch. You're 62 off 26, I think it was.
Against Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah, another losing cause though, unfortunately.
What year was that?
Not your...
2008, 2009, something like that, maybe.
We had a sub-pro, I think.
Yeah, 2009, Dooch. We had Theodoropoulos, a sub-pro. Theodoropoulos, I can only remember him very briefly. But he sub-pro'd in a few games for us, didn't he, Dooch?
Yeah, that was the year when we didn't have a pro at all, I don't think, did we, 2009?
2009, no. Yeah, you're right.
So we had subs all year, and we had a bit of a motley crew.
Ian Butler did the second
Butsy,
half.
Yeah, we had Butsy who did 8 games.
Ian Butler, Theo, Carl Sandry did a few games. Yeah, they're difficult seasons then when you don't have a pro. I mean, I don't really know how you're supposed to get any kind of rhythm going when you don't know who's turning up week to week. But Theo was a good lad.
Yeah.
He just didn't really do much for us on the field, unfortunately.
Stuart, so you're scoring through all that period. We're chatting here about pros. What are your memories and good pros that you've watched, and any stories about them? What can you tell us about those?
From that period after we won the league, easily the best pro was Ryan.
Yeah,
Ryan Harris.
Yeah, can you remember?
He was your favourite, was he?
Yeah, absolute star.
He was. When he was a young lad, when he first came over, he'd run through brick walls for us. He was very, very competitive and trying to push the best out of the amateurs. Can you remember much about him in the bar and around his social skills and getting the team together in the club?
Yeah, he just kept everyone's spirits up. Loved his food.
Yeah.
He would stop behind for a few takeaways and he'd have like pizza and chicken every time.
We'll have to get him to listen to this now. I'm telling you. So Ryan, obviously, a fantastic batter and bowler. What about any opposition pros that you've scored that have played against us? Can you, give us a few stories about how they played against us?
Well, obviously, recent times we've had to come up against Schmidt. We can't. We just cannot get out at all, like a robot.
Yeah, is that because he's a great player, or because he's he understands the league very well and how the league plays?
Well, maybe a bit of both, I think. But he definitely made a difference in those games.
Yeah, without a doubt. And like we've said, in all credit, you understand the league, you understand the umpires, you understand the spectators. It goes a long way. Hey, what about in the early days? Can you remember any of the pros, in that late 2000s that played against us? Any games that spring out to you?
Shannon Stewart, East Lancs. It's one I remember.
He was a good player, yeah. Kiwi.
Didn't he get... No, it wasn't him that got banned, was it? It was someone else, I think.
A pro?
Lou Vincent.
Oh, I remember Lou Vincent. Yeah, Pinchy took a great catch off him.
Who are you on about? Who got banned, Stu? Banned for what? You mean internationally? You mean? Oh, right, okay, yeah. It was Vincent got banned for match fixing, didn't he?
Yeah, that's the one.
Who did he pro for? Did he pro for Rottenstall or Rami? Yeah.
We also played against him in Interleague Cup. I think he played for Middleton when we played against him in Toto Cup.
Jez, this might be a bit of an odd question, I guess, but sometimes when we, in probably 2016 kind of time, when we played against Smith, we frequently, every game, we must have played them about 4 times that year. We played them in the Lancashire Cup and in the Worsley Cup and obviously in the league twice. And we had no idea, we had no real kind of plan of how we were going to get him out. It was bizarre. Did you ever come up against a pro like that?
Yeah, Peter Sleep.
Really? He was a good player,
Yeah.
Peter Sleep, weren't he? Yeah.
Yeah, and he was, I think, I've not played against Smith. I've watched him quite a bit. I think Sleep was a better technical batter than Smith. Certainly as, international and state cricket in Australia. But I think Smith was a little bit smarter in the way that he plays his games. But I know what you're saying, and it's maybe something that, the team manager or one of the selectors of the first team should start having a look at. Joking apart, that Sleep, if you've got a plan, and our plan at the time was, and we had, I'm just trying to think who we'd have had as pros around that time. I think Prabhakar was one, Mansour could have been one, and we would say, right, okay, this bloke can move, he can take a ball from 2 inch outside off stump and hit it through mid-on or quite a straight mid-wicket if you've no fielder there. So what we would plan to do is let's bowl 5 inch outside off stump and a good length and put your extra cover in as well as your cover and a backward point and just leave that mid-wicket vacant free. But they're that good, the good players, they won't take you on because they know that you can't bowl six and over there. They know that you're at best going to bowl 4 and they will just make sure those other 2 balls they get at least, in the first 20 overs that they get, 4 runs off them. And then in the last 30 overs, they get 10 off them.
In one of the games, maybe a year ago, we got Smith run him out. So me and Pat had a discussion about the next set of games that we're going to play and how we might be able to get him run out.
You're clutching at straws a bit, aren't you? If you play bowling for run out.
I mean, in the COVID season, we actually got him out, caught behind, off paddy.
Yeah.
And we were as surprised as anyone, but yeah, I can remember having that conversation and thinking, right, well, we won't give him out LBW. He rarely nicks off. Let's see if we can get him run out.
Yeah. Well, at least what I would say there, Joe, is at least you're thinking about a bit of a plan. And I know Dooch will say this, and it's very much tongue in cheek. But the worst thing you could do in going to anything, not in any sport, knowing that someone is better than you or the team is better than you, and just almost giving up because that doesn't work. Whether it's starving them of strike, whether it's get your biggest gobshite in your side, wind up before the game to get into his ribs as early as possible. What have you got to lose? Whether it is to get the amateurs, the Rami amateurs riled up around it, anything like that, anything. But at the end of the day, Joe, if they are that much better and they can do those sort of tactics where they can move the field and move the ball around, you've got to hold your hands up, but you can't go in without a plan.
No, agreed. Completely agreed.
And I'm sure you do go into with a plan, don't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have no bearing on the tactics, Jez. I just stand behind and catch it. Well, sometimes.
I mean, yeah. To be fair, it's a really interesting discussion. In as much as the pros like that will try and dictate the whole game, so they will work out. They've got their own plan, probably with the help of 2 or 3 of their own players. If they bat in first, they're going to do this, and if they bat in second, they're going to do the other, and that completely dictates how your game is. If sometimes it might be as well to lose the toss, and they've said, right, it's a decent track here. Martin Van Yarsel used to say this to us: look, it's a decent track. If we bowl in this way, restrict them to 220 or 240, which was massive going back then. Martin would say, I'll get them. I will get 100, 100, 120 in the 50 overs, not going mental, and we'll win the game. So it's trying to understand their mentality as how they're thinking about the game, and and just restricting it, trying to keep it as in your favour, do as much as possible that they wouldn't want you to do.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you should say that, Jez. And Dooch, I think, will be able to back me up. But in Francois' first season, I mean, he was a great professional anyway, Francois. But in Francois' first season, if we got anything above 160, 170, I would say that we would back Francois to defend it.
Yeah.
And if he had to bowl 25 overs, he would defend it. I don't know if Dooch would agree with me on that, but...
Well, I think it was the year after that when we not conceded over 130 or something like that in the vast majority of games. Not every game, but in the vast majority of games, we kept sides to below 130. So I just going back to the approach to games, that's like one of the things that most attracted me to captaincy. That there are so many different ways that you can shape a game and come up with ideas to combat a particular side, or one day you'll do it that way and one day you'll do it that way. I think it's like unique about cricket in it that the team on the field is solely in charge of what the direction they're going in. There's no manager pulling the strings. No,
that's exactly right, and it does. I mean, Stuart, so if you can picture things when Dad was first playing and I was playing and you were watching us or in the second team, have you noticed, what sort of change have you noticed around the amateur players and the setup of the club around the cricket side? Have you noticed anything there?
Oh yeah, our setup has changed dramatically since I first joined.
Right.
The facilities we've got now, proper nets, proper clubhouse.
Yeah.
And even that's going to be improved in the future.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say the way that the players go about it as well. They are. I mean, I don't know if I know you watch lots of cricket, Stuart, but I found it really interesting in this series that England are currently playing in Sri Lanka, how the pundits are talking about England and about how they've got this massive will to improve. It's starting from Anderson and all the players. They all want to improve. I know they're all amateurs, and it doesn't matter if it's football or cricket, but it does make you look. Is that something that all amateur clubs look at? Is it something that we did this last year, we want to improve that extra 2%? Food for thought, really, Dooch. I think for on our hands.
Yeah, just about mentality in it, and about it's easy to do it when things are going well in it, to make sure that everybody's doing absolutely everything that they should be. But it's when it's not going quite as well that it's more difficult to maintain that. Talked about momentum a million times. I'm not going to go over it again, but when things are going well, it is a lot easier to have everybody firing at absolutely 100%.
Yeah, it is, without a doubt. It is, and those sort of things will sort themselves out. I think it's when it's not, when you've got that one person. It doesn't matter who it is. I spoke to Ben about this. It doesn't matter whether it's someone who screams and shouts or it's Joe Martin who takes a grip of something and says, right, I'm going to change this now and just do something different. That's why Frankie was so good at what he did. But anyway, Stu, so back to you. When we talked about the dressing room and the mentality and the attitude that in there. You've been in the dressing room with us so many times and we've had so many good laughs. What's your underlying memories of being in that dressing room and the banter and the sad times and the tears and the really happy times?
Most of the conversation seems to be led by Johnny Whitehead.
These days, not all of it.
Barely any of it intelligent. maybe none of it intelligent.
I'm not going to disagree with you, Stu. I think you're right there.
But he is a funny lad, Stuart.
Oh, yeah, there's no denying that.
He is. What's the sort of stuff he comes out with?
Well, there was one game at Ramsbottom. I think we won. I went into a changing room with a book. He wanted to have a look, see how many balls his non was off. Do you remember that? Do you remember that, Joe? How many my non get off?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. How many my non get off?
Stuart, say it like, what did he say?
How many my non get off?
It was Jez. The thing is, Johnny frequently. We always laugh with Johnny. Well, I do anyway, because he likes to abbreviate things to make it quicker, so he can just sort of carry on talking. We were once organising the end of season do, which Stuart, you came on. You know, when we went paintballing.
Yeah.
So we were going paintballing, Jez, and Stu will discuss the paintballing because we need to get some things out in the open. But Johnny, we were discussing what we're going to take for lunch. And we're saying, you know, you can take your own or you can buy something there. He went, are you going to get a pot or take a pact? That's what he said that about 3 times. I'm just going to get a pot. I'm not taking a pact. And anyway,
pot noodle, I think you were trying to say.
Pot noodle and packed lunch. But he just kept saying it. Yeah, I'm getting a pot, not taking a pact.
What do you want to get off your chest about paintballing?
So, Stu, I can't remember if you were on my team, but I think you were.
Possibly, yes.
I think we had the red kind of
Yeah.
stripes on it. You tell me what happened at paintballing, and then I'll tell them what happened at paintballing.
Well, I can remember. I think it was about halfway through. I think I went onto the bridge and got shot out of the game. So when it went to the, I think the final stage, I took cover behind the bush, and then to use up my ammo, I got rid of it all in the final 10 seconds.
But prior to that, Jez, you could respawn. So if you got shot, you had to walk to a place and then come back and respawn, and then you could just go in again and carry on. So we weren't doing very well. I think Dooch, you were there with France. Dooch, I think you might have been on my team as well. But Francois was on the other team. He'd torn his hamstring, so I couldn't move or do anything. So Francois was going across the bridge as a kind of, well, not like a decoy, but as a kind of block to let people go. And he just kept shouting, cover me, cover me. And people just getting peppered in his chest. But Stu got shot. And so we were all and so we went to respawn, and we were trying to, capture the tank or bridge or flag or whatever it was. And I got shot, and Hawkey got shot. So we went to respawn, and Stu was stood next to respawn point, not just hiding behind it.
So he didn't have to go back in and get shot again.
So he didn't have to go back in and get shot. Do you remember that? Do you remember that, Stu?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's true.
And you didn't get shot, did you?
No, not again. Stuart, what are you doing? Oh. Well, I'm not going to get shot.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I just kind of stopped me in my tracks and started laughing. Oh, it was a good day, that.
And what did we do afterwards?
Went to Rose Grove.
Oh yeah, Charlie wanted to go to Rose Grove Unity, didn't he? So we went. Charlie got his own way, and we went to Rose Grove Unity and played dominoes.
I think they actually left to go in town because Chaz was not impressed with going to Rose Grove, and I was playing dominoes and cards with Dooch. And it's well documented. Yes, I'm a bit tight with my money. I don't, not expansive, but I kept playing, and Dooch kept saying to me, "It's the luck of the draw. At some point, you will win." I did not win a hand all night. At no point did I win.
And Dooch walked out with pockets full of that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. In practice, just kind of like giving people tips as they were walking out. Oh, and you came on another end of season, Stu, to Manchester.
Yeah, year after.
Yeah, went to the Dogs.
Oh, that was a waste of time. The Dogs.
Oh, I had a good time.
Although you did well. Yeah,
I did very well.
You found your calling, didn't you, Joe?
I did, absolutely.
Probably because you took all the winnings.
Well, I'm banned. I were banned for the next few years going to Bellevue because I had such a good day.
How much did you win, Joe?
I think you're about £400.
Nice one.
Out of the kitty that we had, we divvied it all up. Everybody had £100 each. Say, right. I got £400. Went into town, and and I'm not a big night club person, or going to bars or anything like that. And so we went.
And what we need to edit now is bought a prostitute.
No. No, that was the week after. No. And so I thought, well, I've got 400 quid on me. That's going to be dangerous. As soon as I go in anywhere, and I'll just get attacked. Hello, and it'll just be straight across. So I went to this were about 10:30. Went to one of the pubs or nightclub, whatever it was, and all my friends are in here. Do you have any ID? And I thought, I do, yeah, but I'm not showing it you. I went, no, I don't. Sorry. And I went home. Got a lift home off my dad.
What a party animal you are. 400 quid in his wallet, Jez, and he rang his dad to come and pick him up and take him home.
And I
think I bought him a coffee.
Didn't even buy lads a drink.
I went on, I couldn't get in.
Convenient.
So we're looking at, all that, from your scoring days and then all your watching days. It's no secret, Stu. I sent you a few questions over the last couple of days because I just want to go through. You've been at the club for all these years. I just want you to talk us through a few, of your memories and the top players that have been down there. So, in your opinion, and just give us a reason why, who was the best amateur batsman that has played at Lowerhouse?
I think based on pure talent, is Johnny Whitehead.
Right. Oh, that's a bit of a surprise. Right.
Well, good shout, Stu. Great player, Johnny.
Yeah,
has he paid you to say that? Has he?
No, I've not spoken to him at all.
He's going to get him a pot next time he sees him.
Yeah.
All right. So I understand what you're saying, in as much as ability and the way he scores his runs, and I'm just I'm just being a bit mischief making here. But Blaise has done it for a long, long time. Blaise has.
No, overall, Blaise is at the top.
Right. So you're saying on eye-catching ability, Johnny Whitehead is better than Blaise?
Yeah, if you want to put it like that. But
right.
overall,
right.
Blaise is the more accomplished batsman.
Right. Brilliant. Right. Okay. But Johnny Whitehead, as far as talent goes, has got that extra little bit of talent.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like it. Right, the best amateur bowler at Lowerhouse.
Well, yeah, there's been a few. Johnny Russell is right up there, but I think I'm going to give another swerve here, and I'm going to say Finchie.
Right, nice one. And why Finchie? What is it? Is it down to his heart and his determination?
Yeah, he seems to always be involved in the big moments.
Right. Oh, that's an interesting choice. He can certainly bowl. The away swing, in swing, and he can bowl seam. He's got a great slow ball. I'll come back to the two Joes that can ask you a few questions around some of your answers towards the end. Who's the best pro who's played for Lowerhouse batsman that you've come across?
Best pro batsman, I'd have to say Frankie.
Frank Entwistle.
Or South African friend.
Right, Francois. Go on. So what makes you say that?
He just seemed to understand. Yeah, something we touched on before. He seemed to understand the game situation and what was required, rather than just going out there and trying to get at everything straight away.
All right. So I don't know. You want to see a lot of him at all. Did you see Van Jorsel play at all?
I did see bits of him, yeah.
Right. So, and do you think Frankie's performance is better than his from your point of view?
I would say so. Yeah, I'd say he pips him.
Right. So we'll move on from. So who's the best pro bowler for Lowerhouse?
I'd probably say Ryan. I've never seen someone hit the deck so hard.
Yeah.
Frightened so many batsmen.
Yeah. Were there any games that stick out in your mind?
I think it started 2006 season.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who we were playing. I think it was at home. He just ran through him.
Yeah,
I got 5 for a 6 for.
yeah, it was, and
Might have been Aki or someone like that.
and his attitude was absolutely, first class, second to none. Who is the best amateur bowler that you've watched in the first team at Lancashire League that's played against Lowerhouse?
Well, I suppose we have to. There's Dibber at Aki. He's always been pretty solid. Roscoe.
Yeah, great bowler's got lots of wickets.
If you had to pick between the two, Stu, who would you say?
I'd say Dibber.
Dibber.
Just
Yeah.
Just consistent.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's the type of wickets they play on, bowlers like that. And there's been a dozen in the league that I've known or played against. The pros have no time for them, there's no respect for them, but they're not playing on first-class wickets.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
Circumstances are different, the grounds are different, and that's why they can do what they can do, and they're very good at it, so it's...
It must have been so difficult playing against Ormerod at Bay Cup, Jez, because they've got the slope, haven't they? That lend itself to this like in swing, and it's always cold, so it's difficult to get really hard wickets. I don't know what it was like in the 90s and early 2000s, but it's hard to get really hard wickets and stuff.
Yeah, it was still cold, Joe, then.
Yeah.
And he also had chappy behind stumps, they knew each other exactly what they were going to bowl. No, they see all credit, they're real talent. They worked hard at the game, and it's, they deserve what they got. So, Stuart, best pro batsman.
Well, we've already mentioned him, Schmidt.
So he's the best you've ever seen. He's, he's not dynamic, is he? He's not somebody who'll go out there and, and get 180, like some of the other pros, but you really rate him.
Yeah, he just knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Is he back this year at Rammer?
Yeah. Yeah, he lives here.
What, in West End Room?
Not everybody has that privilege, Jez.
No, I see you've moved some pictures around in there.
Yeah, I've put some of my own paintings up. I've been doing oil this week, watercolour next week.
Right, Stu, there's no other real questions around the cricketing side, and I'm sure you've had a good think before you came on or anything. We talk about the daftest person, but I think you mentioned anyone dafter than Frank?
Yeah, I think probably Johnny.
What is dafter than Frank?
Yeah.
Crikey, that is some accurate.
Well, he doesn't really have an off button, does he, Joe?
No, the different kinds of daft. Different kinds of daft. Johnny's all about his audience.
Yeah, very
He's
much.
like a performing chimpanzee, whereas Frank is just, he'd be as daft as he was, whether there'd be an audience there or not.
Yeah.
Stuart, I'm sorry to bring this up, but I want to go back to that game when you went to wrong ground.
Yeah.
When you got
that game.
When you got to Colne, what did you do?
I'll just sat outside waiting for people to turn up. But
no, but all right, yeah. But then when you realised you were at wrong ground, what did you do then? Who did you ring? How did that conversation go?
Might have been Stan, I think.
Stan, I'm sorry, I've come to wrong ground. Something along those lines.
Oh no, I think he rang me and asked where I was.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't cough. You waited to be rumbled.
Yeah.
And did you ever think about how quickly can I get to Tomodon from Colne or not?
No, I decided to go home.
Yeah, that's me.
So Stan rang you, Stuart. Was he annoyed at you?
Yeah, I think he did. He had a bit of a rant.
Really?
And you've gone to Colne on bus, haven't you? Have you got a return ticket?
No, one way. Because I would have got a lift back after. I would have got a lift back after the game.
Oh,
from
Stuart.
the players, of course. Yeah.
Oh, Stuart.
No. Oh well.
I don't know if we've that Stan's telling you off, Stuart, because there is a story about Stan not coming to a game. Have we mentioned this on here?
You might have done.
I'll tell the story just in case, because it's not just your fault, Stuart. Stan's done this as well. And if we have told it before, then we've told it before. Matt were captain, and it was the season when we were trying to get a lot more professional and they were playing replay games and trying to get there as early as we could. None of us had mobile phones, and Stan, I think it was a 1:15 start, was not there at 1:55. he hadn't turned up at 1 o'clock. So Matt had to go to the clubhouse and ring him from the payphone to Stan's landline. Matt rang Stan, and Matt said, "Stan, where are you?" And Stan said, "I'm at home." He said, "Well, what are you doing at home?" He said, "Well, I've just finished my dinner. I'm just thinking about cutting the back lawn." So Matt says, "We've got a game." Stan said, "No, we haven't." "Yeah, we have. It's a rearranged game from such and such." Stan just said, "Oh, fuck me, I'm not coming." So he can't have a pop, Stuart. He's done exactly the same. Stuart, is there anything else you want to bring up? Anything else you want to talk about the time down at Lowerhouse and everything else?
Yeah, it's just the 2012 Worsley Cup final.
Right, tell us about that. What happened there?
So yeah, we got there after breakfast at Sycamore Farm.
Right, okay.
We had our pre-game football. I went for a sliding challenge on, I think it was on Ben Heap.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was very wet. It was very wet.
Yeah. I was wet
raining all morning.
I nearly took him out to the final.
He did.
So what did Ben say?
I don't really know. I think I stayed away from him.
Brilliant.
And of course, then you were stuck with your wet jeans on for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But you played football with us all the time, Stu, didn't you?
Yeah.
Poacher.
Good times.
Poacher.
You're terrible at it, Stu. If you don't mind me saying. You're only second to Francois in terms of awful footballers.
That's brilliant. Where was that? 2012 final? Was that church?
Church, yeah.
Mm. We had two pros there that day, Jez.
Yeah, Dale Deeb was the official 12th man.
Yep, in case Francois was back. Didn't hold up.
Right, I didn't know that.
Mm. Yeah, thankfully it did. I think he took the last wicket in his shoe.
He did.
Right, brilliant. Right, Stu, is there any other stories you want to tell us? Because that was classic, that, taking out our number one opening batsman.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it on Frankie's podcast, how I got him lost in Rottenstall.
Oh, I remember about that.
It's a good story. Good story.
Tell us what really happened, Stu.
Well, I thought I was taking him the right way, and then we weren't quite sure where we were. I think Stanley rang him saying, "Where are you?" I'm with Stuart. "Where?" "In Rottenstall." "What are you doing there?" "You're meant to be playing Haslingden."
I think Paul Stanley told us he rang Francois, and that's when he'd spoken to, but he'd rang you as well, Stu, if you can remember.
Yeah.
And he said, and if I say to you what I said, "Stuart, where are you?" Can you remember what you said?
No.
"I'm in Francois' car." I mean, what an answer. Brilliant.
I just thought I could remember the way from previous years. But
right.
Obviously not.
And there was another incident. I don't know if you can remember. A game got called off in Corbus's year, Stewie.
Yeah.
And it was pouring down with rain, and you'd started to walk home. And I was in Corbus's car. We went to pick, and we were going. I can't remember where we were going. So we saw Stuart walking, so we gave him a lift, and neither of us knew where Stuart lived. So he said, "Stuart, can you just direct us to where you need to go?" So we drove out of the club towards Liverpool Road. I said, "Right, which way we're going, Stu?" And he went, "Right." So we indicated to go right. "Right, you need to go right. Right. You need to go right." So we turned right. He went, "This is the wrong way." He said, "Turn right." He went, "No, I meant left."
Oh, what a prankster.
Oh. And we just kind of looked and went, Right. So direction, Stu, maybe isn't our forte.
No.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, it was brilliant.
That is great. That is a top podcast, Stuart. I've really enjoyed that. Have you any other little anecdotes before we finish?
No, I think that's it.
No. So look forward to April or May or whenever it's going to be. We can grab a pint when you're not working and have a good reminisce. Stuart, any last words before we go?
No, I'll just say it's been a pleasure to speak to you all again.
Lovely.
Been a few months.
Yeah, that's been it's been fantastic. So thanks everyone. Thanks for listening to the Housecast, and thanks Stuart. Up the house.
Order! Send more house to save the house!